Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. Thanks for tuning back in. Thanks for coming back to see me. I'm really pleased you've done so, and I'm exceptionally pleased about to bring you another Proxima. Proxima is a brand that I rate very, very highly. I almost put them on the same level as San Martin. The only thing they need to do is start bringing out more different iterations of sort of bracelets, cases, and that sort of stuff, because oftentimes it was only dial that was changing. This one looks a bit different though. It's got a few new things going on, not least of all, I know what I said before, but the dial was stunning. A couple of different colours to choose from. I've got the red dial. This is the PX1736 from a brand that you do know, from a brand that I love, and I hope some of you do love it as well. Massive potential. It's a real sporty, GADA, dressy style piece, well sized, and hopefully during this sale, really right on the money. In and around £200. It's got a Seiko movement inside. In places it says NH36, but it's definitely NH35. Reliable, sapphire crystal, nice bracelet, on the fly adjust clasp, good loom. I like the way they've done the loom, and I'll touch upon that in the review. But is all that in a bag of chips? Is this one that you should be buying during the sale? I really hope so. I really, really hope it's all that. So without further ado, get yourself a nice beverage, a nice brew, because it is about that time. Let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys, so this is the watch. This is the Proxima. This is slightly different packaging to what I've had from them. You'll see they look like they've taken a bit of inspiration from San Martin. Warranty card in there. It did come with a screwdriver. I'm not exactly sure where I've put that. I did use it. It was quite handy. Stephen Lee, I think, is the owner. I've spoke to him before. Nice guy, quite engaging. He seems to really like pushing the Proxima with the unicorn. Not really my thing, and I've sort of said that to him. There's a screwdriver. You'll see I've taken off, I think it's 4 links for it to fit my wrist. I'll just show you. Yeah, nicely finished bracelets, but the screw pins, nice and easy to size. Let me put that to the side. And this is their iteration of the case they're doing. See what I mean about the unicorn? Not a huge fan. I like the name though, Proxima. I've said it for a while. Nice, no zip on this one that you get on the San Martin, but when it closes, it doesn't feel like it's easy to open because of how it's sort of friction. Yeah, velvety material inside, nice pillow. Let me put all that to the side because we want to look at the watch, and yeah. So this is the watch. Stunning piece, another color you can choose. I'm glad they sent me the red one, but really, really nice. The model number for this is the PX1736. I've said many times before, I really do like Proxima. I think they're a brand that have got an awful lot of potential. It's nice to see that just off the offset, you can see a different sort of bracelet, slightly different case shape, on the fly adjust clasp and stuff. It's nice to see that those sort of details are there. Inside the watch, it's running a Seiko NH35 movement. I've said before, this movement is sort of like the AK-47 of the watch community in terms of watch movements. They go and go, inexpensive, and as like I said, there's a very good reason why they do use these movements, just because of how reliable they are, and it comes from a brand that you know, so it makes you feel a bit more comfortable. 24 joules, 21,600 beats per hour, 41-hour power reserve, and this one's running, I'd say, about 4 seconds fast a day, so that's phenomenal, isn't it? For a watch that costs the price that's up on the screen now, 4 seconds fast is just mental. And I generally can't recall having many bad NH movements. So yeah, really, really cool. The construction of the watch, aside from the crystal on the front and back, is all 316L stainless steel. A lot more brushing than polishing, but really nicely done in terms of the transitions on the bezel, case. The bracelet's very, very nice. Quite refined in how it's been done, and all 316L stainless steel. So that's the case, bezel, crown, outer part of the exhibition case back, the solid end links bracelet and clasp, all 316L stainless steel, mainly brushed, but it has got some polished sort of tones in there that really do make it look a bit more premium, which I'm here for. So yeah, the case thickness of the watch is 12.9 millimeters. When you go from the 8 to the 2, the diameter is 39.1 millimeters. And when you go to 9 to the 3, including the crown, it was coming in at bang on 43 millimeters. The lug width on this is 20 millimeters. That does taper down to 16 and back up to 18.5 millimeters. at that fully milled on the fly adjust clasp. And the lug to lug tip, the tip of the watch is a true lug to lug, given it's got a few more end links to the center link, and it was coming in at 46.3 millimeters. So really nice proportions there, a little bit thicker than I probably would have liked. A big part of that is going to be probably the crystal and the exhibition case back with the crystal on the bottom and stuff. But yeah, it could have done with being a bit thinner, but yeah, they're the breaks. The bezel is nice, brushed with a polished facet. Crown is situated at the 3 o'clock, it's polished with some signage on there. The signage seems a little bit inconsistent in terms of throughout the watch. You got Proxima written there, you got the logo there, you got PR there. It's just a bit strange in terms of the signage, but it is what it is. The exhibition case back is sapphire crystal, just showing off that NH35 movement. Quick release on the bracelet, just some information that we are running through now anyway. Like I said, it's got 20mm lug width tapering down, but this bracelet with the screw pins is very nice. It just screams premium. You'll see how it plays with the light. The brushing's really sort of satiny brush. The polishing's done very, very well. Excuse my fingerprints, guys. But yeah, really nice. Bit of taper on there, screw pins. You got a couple of half links as well to really help you get the fit you want. Plus, you have got the on the fly, so it is going to make it nice and simple. Fully more clasp, as I said, with that on the fly adjustment. It looks nice, doesn't it? And just screams quality. The crystal covering the dial is a sapphire crystal, so that's giving us a sapphire sandwich, front and bottom. We love a bit of sapphire on both. The water resistance, you probably made out on the case back, is 100 meters, so that would give you 10 atmospheres of water resistance, and the weight will appear in the top right. So with those 4 links removed, it was coming in at 135.8 grams. With those 4 links back in, it's probably at 150, 160, which, given the proportions of the watch, given how it feels, how quality it feels, is about bang on, really, in terms of the proportions and the weight. But let's have a look at the dial in a bit more detail. The dial on this is stunning. I love how they've done it. I think it's oil pressed. It's what they say, the process they've used to sort of formulate that dial. And I've said many times before, I'm a bit of a sucker for a dial. And this is not too shabby at all. So you've got that red sort of patterned dial throughout. Looks very consistent, looks very, very nice. You've got a minute track going around the outer edge. In terms of the hands and indices, it's really giving me sort of Tudor, Pelagos sort of vibes with the sort of block of white they've used. That's the first thing I saw when I held it in the hand and had a good look. Hopefully the lume's up to it in a minute when we look at it, given there seems to be a real decent amount of surface area with that lume on. So I'm quite optimistic. Yeah, you got battens everywhere except for the 6 o'clock position, which is where the date window is. I don't even mind the fact that they've gone with white with black writing. I think the other way around would have stood out a bit too much, like with all the white sort of accents of the indices and hands and stuff. It might have been a bit too much. You got Proxima. Looks like it's been applied. It's maybe heavily printed, but yeah, it looks good. Written onto the dial. Maybe a logo is the way to go for Proxima. The name isn't offensive, but I'd just like to see some consistency with the signage. But you got Proxima printed on or applied on just below the batten at 12. You got automatic looking the same sort of script and text. A little bit smaller, just above the batten at the 6. And like I said, good proportions on the hands and the indices, and it looks very, very nice. Like I said, really giving me Tudor Pelagos vibes. And without further ado, what is the lume saying? Did the lume live up to it? Well, you could see it's everything I expected it to be. It was just going and going and going. A testament to these types of watches is when you're wearing it, you come inside from sort of bit of sun, and it's sort of not so sunny inside the house, and you can see it just glowing. So that's what was happening with this watch. So I was pretty optimistic that it was going to be decent lume, but even so, yeah, it did surprise me and really pushes it. I've said before with these types of watches, it's a real GADA piece. The dial's not going to be to everyone's taste, but I think there's an awful lot to like about this watch, and the lume is definitely helping it, I've got to say. In terms of the movement inside, it's an NH35, so I'll take the crown out, it will hack. If we scroll through, what we'll do, we'll see where it changes over. A little bit earlier than I would expect, but not too bad. Well centered in terms of the date window. And what we'll do, we'll scroll through to where I normally stop it. We'll stop it around there. You'll see it's hacked. You put the crown back in, it will start back up again. When it's in the position where it's unscrewed from the case, if you turn it away from you, you can charge it. You put it into the first position. Only change the date when it's between outside the hours of 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. And we know that's now sort of 8 minutes past 8 in the morning on this watch now. So we don't have to worry about it. If you scroll towards you, you'll see changing the date over, very well centered in there, very, very nicely done. And then when the time comes, when you're happy with the date, time and all that stuff, just put the crown back in, screw it up, and jobs are good. And that's everything going on there. That's the hand indices, dial, movement. Yeah, looking very, very nice. Yeah, let me just pop on the wrist quickly, give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. One moment, guys. Okay, so this is what it looks like on my wrist. My wrist is a 7¼ inch wrist. And I think it looks superb. Really, really nice. A little bit thicker than I would have expected. But the sapphire sandwich, the dial, the lume, the bracelet, the clasp, and all for the price that I'll bring up in front of me. I've got to say, I think it's a really, really nice watch. But as ever, guys, what do you all make of it? Okay, so guys and girls, that would now take me swiftly on to what I think is pants and Pukka about the watch. If you've ever watched before, you know I always start with pants. I like to go on a higher with Pukka. So what I think is pants about this watch is it's almost bang on the money. Really nice, but there's two things I do want to mention if I'm being honest. The first thing I'm going to say is the signage, or the inconsistent signage, in terms of on the dial it says Proxima. Over here it's got a logo. On the clasp it's sort of something different. The signage is just too inconsistent. I would like to have a clear indication of what they're going to go with and just stick with it throughout the watch. And the thickness, yeah, just under 13mm thick. It really didn't need to be that. The proportions of the watch otherwise is bang on, but it's just a bit too thick for me. So they're the two things I'm going to say for pants, is the signage and the thickness of the watch. What I think is Pukka considerably more. So strap yourself in. First off, the sapphire sandwich. Yep, I've had watches 2 or 3 times more expensive than this watch that doesn't have a sapphire sandwich. So yeah, the dial, I love this dial. I think it looks really nice, plays with the light nicely, and I do like textured dials, so for me it's playing into my hands a little bit. The hand and indices, I like the way they're done. I like the proportions on them. I like their solid white, like I say, real sort of vibes of the Tudor Pelagos that I was getting off it. I'm not saying it's homaging that, it just looks a bit like that. The loom, because of the area they've covered, is there. It's there. The loom was kind of destined to be really good, but yeah, it did produce. The date location, I've said before, the date generally is my favorite position. I like how it's centered in the date window as well, but the date location is my preferred location. The bracelet, this bracelet is gorgeous, isn't it? It's really nice. You'd expect it to be on the watch. Again, a bit more expensive than the watch I'm currently holding. The clasp, I know you're getting it from San Martin now where you're not getting the screws a bit to the side, but on the fly, I wouldn't have that on there, but on the fly, nicely sized, fully milled clasp, doing the Bezel, and the general look of the watch. I think it's a striking piece. It's one that is a real GADA watch. 20mm lug width, you can change the straps onto what you like, rubber strap, leather straps, keep it on the stainless steel, get a mesh strap, dress it up, dress it down, dress it how you like. But yeah, really, really nice. So they're the things I'm going to say for Pukka. It's a sapphire sandwich, dial, hands and indices, loom, date location, bracelet, clasp, and the general look of the watch. And that'll take me on to, would I recommend this watch? And it always seems quite funny when there's such a disparity between pants and Pukka. So you probably know what's going to be coming down the line any moment now. Not perfect, a couple of things to change, which is what I mentioned, but wholeheartedly, I would say, guys, pick one of these up. An absolutely stonking watch. My favorite Proxima has just changed. It is now this. So yeah, definitely would pick one up. But guys and girls, as ever, please let me know what you think about this watch. And maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.